Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. My name is Ben. Every day on this channel, I show you how to make money in crypto. If you like money in crypto, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Still currently out of town, but man, I have been monitoring the price of Bitcoin, and it is looking fantastic right now. So to catch you up to date, last night we covered Market Cipher. Market Cipher is our trading indicator. We've got the elusive rare daily green dot last night. Now, we had one last week, and we saw downward momentum for several days. But if we go back to the last time that this occurred in July, between July, I think it was July 22nd and the 25th, somewhere around those dates, we got one green dot, days of downward action, another green dot, and that is where things went up. Things went up from around $29,000 all the way to $69,000. I think it was about 120 to 140% gain over the next couple of months. However, I want to talk about what it did over the next 8 to 9 days after the green dot in July. We saw Bitcoin rise 40%. Now, if we saw that same 40% between now and next Sunday, where would that put us as we head into the last date, 9 to 10 days of the year? That would put us around $65,000. Now, the last time we saw this pattern, it played out. Just because we see this pattern this time does not mean necessarily that it is going to play out. But we do know that over the last few weeks, we have had not only the over-leveraged longs with the dip down to 41,000 cleared, but almost all of the open interest on the futures market was also cleared. And looking back through history, that is extremely, extremely bullish. Look, guys, I don't know if we're going to hit $100,000 by the end of the year. It's looking pretty unlikely at this point by the end of the year. But this should be the move that sends us upward. This should be the move that gets us on an end-of-year rally. I don't know what number we can, peak at. Now, what would be really crazy is if we could somehow climb up to new all-time highs to $70,000 to $80,000 around Christmas. Everybody's home for Christmas. They're telling all their friends. All the retail investors rushing at that point, and we get the surge that puts us above 100K. So that is a possible scenario. But I'm looking at this point. I still think it's going to be sooner rather than later when we peak out. I know some people are saying, maybe we don't peak out till 2023. And, I think that just denies the fundamental reason for the Bitcoin price moving upwards, which is the Bitcoin halving. It's a cut in production that increases the demand, while, not necessarily lowering the supply, but lowering the rate at which things come into the supply, the rate at which Bitcoin comes into the supply. So I think ultimately that right now we are seeing a really incredible setup. Next week, we are going to be going back to doing some leverage trading on the channel as we do our FEMEX contest. We're not going to go crazy. We're not going to be doing 100x or 50x or anything like that. But we will be covering that on the stream next week as we start this FEMEX trading competition. We want to do very well in it, so we're going to try to make maximum moves based off of Market Cipher. If you want to sign up for the contest, if you want to get access to Market Cipher, you guys can do that by visiting bitboycrypto.com/deals. All those deals will be right there, kind of near the top of the page if you guys want to do that. But overall, the important news of the day, and I don't think I mentioned this at the beginning, but the most important thing is that green dot from last night, it confirmed. We've moved on to a new daily candle. So we got the pattern we were looking for. We didn't necessarily want the dip in between the two green dots, but we got it, and it may play out exactly like we saw the last one. And I've told you guys this for a long time with Market Cipher. One green dot, one large green dot at the bottom of Market Cipher B is absolutely huge. The double dot formation oftentimes leads to the biggest gains, to the biggest runs. It's like once everything's in a line, we can have one last little dip to kind of clear out, the rest of the week hands before we shoot up. So I want to know what price do you think Bitcoin is going to be at on January 1st? Would you drop that down below in the chat? I'll be back tomorrow in the studio, but I'll be back with a video tomorrow morning for you guys. Not tomorrow in the studio. I'll be back in Georgia tomorrow in the studio on Monday. Full week this week in the studio. Looking forward to it. Being back home. Things are going to be calmer. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.